putting all of those subjects in your static portion is a big task, is a very big task. Believe me, it is a very big task, maybe for you, because from the past 2 years I'm doing it. So that's why I'm not having much of the troubles, because if I see the news that it is of art and culture, so I include it in my news. So Amarnath Yatra cancelled. Amarnath Yatra cancelled. What is the significance of Amarnath Yatra? What are the other pilgrimages in Jammu and Kashmir? Okay, what are the other pilgrimages in Jammu and Kashmir? Next is GS paper 2, international relations. Close to limited trade deal with US. Close to limited trade deal with US. China repeats claim on Bhutan East. So China, as you all know, is a stupid nation, and he works according to his dragon. And if they say in their international relation that our dragon has traveled to North Pole, so we will make the roads on North Pole also. So they will soon make the road on North Pole and South Pole also. Okay, they claim the polar regions also. Means the Earth, here is the Earth, this polar region. They also claim this portion, because they say our dragon has the mouth over here, and our dragon has the tail at the bottom of the Earth, means South Pole of the Earth. So in this way, China works. This is the international relations of China, basically. Okay, we will develop those areas. डेवलपमेंट का कोई मतलब नहीं है उनका. उनका बेसिक मतलब है कि on the basis of the development they occupy that territory. Okay, so in Africa they are developing immense roads. They are making that BRI, they are making CPAC, and they are making many other roads, road projects. In Africa, they have occupied many of the territories. In Brazil, they have occupied many of the territories. And Sri Lanka, as you all know, that they have occupied one of the port of Sri Lanka. Okay, so China is just trying to occupy the whole world. Okay, but in USA, it is not having the reach. In Russia, it is not having the reach. And in India, it is being opposed by India. But India is not a big power at present, but it is emerging as a big power. It is emerging to be as a very big power. So that's why China is trying to demolish India right now. That India should not progress at a very fast rate. In this time period of BJP government, I just personally feel that we are developing in terms of road, and we are just developing in terms of road. And in eastern states, I have seen that we have developed many of the roads. Many of the road projects are being developed. Although I don't consider what the ministry do on the basis of the religion, on the basis of anything. I don't consider about it, because the youth of India should focus on only on the development. Religious issues are just the vote bank. Okay, just the vote bank. If they are getting the votes from for what they are doing in terms of religion, so they will do it definitely, because in democracy you are supporting the religion. You are the culprit, not the government. Never say that that this government is doing on this basis, on this religion basis. So the government is never responsible for any religion crisis or anything. Okay, uh, the pupils of India are basically responsible for the crisis in terms of religion. Okay, if well, India is living in peace right now. I consider it India is living in peace, but according to political leaders, India is not living in peace. So never listen to them, because they are just mediator between the development of the companies and the development of the peoples. They are just the mediator. Okay, government is run by Indian Administrative Services, that is IAS officers. They don't do anything. The politicians don't do anything. They don't have a single word. They don't even speak a single word by themselves. All they speak by themselves in their political rallies, nothing else. In their political rallies, they speak some single words only. Okay, so that's why I never listen to any political leaders. Just try to listen some of the scholars, some of the persons who are good at education. Just try to remember their sayings. Listen about what Vivekananda has said and in history, what Mahatma Gandhi has said, and what Bhagat Singh has written in his documentaries. Never get diverted towards that Bhagat Singh was a revolutionary. Okay? Bhagat Singh has written some of the best concepts about the how he do the vision of India. He was not the supporter of what we say in terms of violence. He was not the supporter of violence at all. He was the biggest supporter of peace. But when non-cooperation movement declined, so at that time, the youth, we all know the youth get angry, so they need to be controlled. So that's why there was no one to control at that time. Okay, it was not as well that he get involved in any of the revolutionary movement. His vision and his idea was revolutionary. Okay, when you see any when you read any of the book written by Bhagat Singh, you will say that he was more intelligent than Mahatma Gandhi in terms of peace revolution. In terms of peace revolution, he was more intelligent than Mahatma Gandhi. He was more intelligent than Vivekananda also, because he has written some of the best concepts about how to progress the revolution according to peace, not by armed rebellions. Okay, he has written biggest concepts. Okay, when he was in jail, he has written some of the great things. So in this way, try to analyze the thing, because UPSC asks you how to analyze each and everything. Close to limited trade deal with US, China repeats claim on Bhutanese. Vulnerable groups petition Global Fund. Okay. What is Global Fund for AIDS, TB, and malaria? GFATM. GFATM. Okay. Let's read all of them. Okay. Close to limited trade deal with US. India and the US have almost finalized a limited trade deal. Okay, as you all know, we have shown a little diversion towards USA, so that's why USA is just now favoring India also in terms of any relation, anything. And, USA is favoring India. So the longer term plan is to work towards a comprehensive trade deal. Okay, as an intermediate step between imminent limited deal and the comprehensive deal, Mr. Goyal proposed a preferential trade agreement that would cover 50 to 100 goods and services. India and the US have separately been close to finalizing a limited trade deal several times over the past years, including when both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump were in New York last year for the United Nations General Assembly session, UNGA session. Okay, UNGA session. Again in February this year, the two sides scrambled unsuccessfully to finalize a mini deal that was to be announced during Mr. Trump's India visit. Okay. Next is Amarnath Yatra cancelled. Why this pilgrimage is very important? Because it is a very good art, very good formation. Okay, very good formation. Steatite बोलते हैं इसे. Steatite. We say it steatite because in this half of the portion is ice and half of the portion is has just come from above. Half of the portion comes from above and it get freezes. Both of them get combined. Okay, both of them combined and then they form this shivling. So it is a best concept in considered in terms of geography. Okay, I'm saying it scientifically, not religiously. Okay, I'm saying it scientifically that it is a steatite. Okay, it is a steatite. That's why it is important in terms of geography also. ठीक है. आर्ट एंड कल्चर के तौर पे तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट है ही है, and in terms of geography also it is very important. The Amarnath cave deep is in the Himalayas in South Kashmir. ठीक है. We will read it from starting. The Sri Amarnath Ji Shrine Board (SASB) on Tuesday decided to cancel the annual pilgrimage to cave shrine in Kashmir. Value-added information: what is the significance of Amarnath Yatra? The Amarnath cave deep is in the Himalayas in South Kashmir. The cave is 3,888 meter above sea level, can be reached only on foot or by pony pony. Each year, hundreds of thousands of pilgrims make the trek up to the shrine. How the deity in the shrine is found? The ice lingam. The ice lingam. Can you even tell me what is Shiva Lingam? I will tell you what is actually Shiva Lingam. Okay. So this is your Shiva Lingam. Okay. This is your Shivlingam. So, in terms of scientifically, what we say that we have analyzed this. This is the female sexual organ, ovary. Okay, this is the female sexual organ, ovary, and this is the male sexual organ. Okay, this is the male sexual organ. So that's why it is known as Shiva Lingam. The male and the female sexual parts. So that's why it is known as Shiva Lingam. Okay. In Shivalingam, what we understand that I have read it deeply, that Shivalingam basically says that your mother and your father, from whom you are born, they are only the god of yours. Okay, they are only your gods. Shivalingam basically says that the mother and the father from whom you are born, okay, from whom you are born, they are only your God. No one else in the world is your God. No one else in the world is your God. So that's the basic concept of Shivalingam. And we are trying to worship many of the gods, many of the gods, like any god. I don't say about anyone anything. So Shivalingam basically says that your mother and your father are basically your god because you are born from them, no one else. Okay, the Sri Amarnath Ji Shrine Road SASB on Tuesday. How the deity in the shrine is formed? How the deity in the shrine is formed? The ice lingam is formed by a trickle of water from a cleft in the cave's foot. The Shivalingam gets its full shape in May, and after which it begins to melt by August. After which it begins to melt by August. Okay. So stalactite that is above. This is the above stalactite and stalagmite. These both get combined and then they form this Shivalingam. So this is the concept of Shivalingam of Amarnath Yatra. Okay, this is the basic concept of Amarnath Yatra. Okay, stalactite and stalagmite get combined and then they form steatite. Stalactite and stalagmite, they combine and then they form steatite. Okay, the water freezes as it drips, forming over time a tall, smooth ice stalagmite. A stalactite is an acycel shaped formation that hangs from the ceiling of a cave and is produced by precipitation of minerals from water dropping through the cave ceilings. From the water dropping from the cave ceilings, stalactites have pointed tips. Stalactite have pointed tips. Stalagmite is an upward growing that have precipitated from moist water dripping into the floor of a cave. most of the stalagmites have rounded or flattened tips. Rounded or flattened tips. What are other pilgrimages in Jammu and Kashmir? Vaishno Devi. Vaishno Devi Mandir is a very popular Hindu temple dedicated to Hindu goddess. It is located in Tirupata mountains of Jammu and Kashmir. It is at an altitude of 5,200 feet above the sea level. The temple is 13.5 kilometer from Katra. Various modes of transportation are available from Katra, including ponies. Ponies, matlab the in our words, it is said to be as khachar, the combination of horse and donkey. Okay, ponies. They are known as ponies. Okay, electric vehicle. People who visit Samarnath also visits this shrine. Okay, Shankaracharya Temple is situated on Zabarwan mountain in Srinagar. Mountain in Srinagar, Kashmir. Temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva. Visiting this temple involves the devotees to trek to the top of the hills on which it stands above 1,100 feet above the plain. Built in 371 BC, the great Saint Shankaracharya is said to have stayed there during Shankaracharya his visit to Kashmir. His visit to Kashmir. Okay. Raghunath Temple. Temple is one of the largest temple in North India and is located in Jammu. It was built by Maharaja Gulab Singh. Maharaja Gulab Singh was the prince of Shimla. Okay, Maharaja Gulab Singh was the prince of Shimla, and when the Britishers removed him from Shimla and made the Shimla to be the summer capital of Britishers, so at that time he went to Chail, the nearby city of Shimla. The nearby city of Shimla, it is Chail. So he developed that city, and believe me, I have visited the Chail as it is having the Rashtra Military School. Okay, it is having Rashtra Military School. I visited over there. So it is the most beautiful place in Himachal Pradesh, not Shimla. It the Chail is the most beautiful place in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, there are 7 shrines, each having its own shikara presents at the site of the temple. Raghunath temple enshrines many idols of the Hindu gods and goddesses, but its presiding deity is Lord Rama. Lord Rama. Okay, China repeats claim on Bhutan's east. So as you all know, China के बारे में हम आप सभी को बताते जा रहे हैं continuously. We are telling about China. China said that it has offered Bhutan a package solution to its boundary dispute, reviving reference of a 1996 proposal for a territory swap to give Bhutan the disputed area in its northern in exchange of the disputed western areas, including Doklam. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs (MFA) also repeated its claim on the Bhutan's eastern boundary at Sakting, which experts warned may be a new pressure tactic by Beijing to push Thimphu into concluding a boundary deal during a meeting of the UNDP-led Global Environment Facility on June 2 to 3 this year. The Chinese representative had tried unsuccessfully to stop the funding for Bhutan's Sakting Forest Sanctuary. Forest Sanctuary. I have shown you this on map. If you wanted to, if you remember it, all of you remember it, Sakting Forest Sanctuary. If you remember the map of Bhutan, it is just in Bhutan. So no need to show it on map now. Again, okay, I've shown you in the previous class also. Claiming the area was disputed, Bhutan through the Indian. Okay, we are here. Let's here again. So let's see. So during the UNDP Sakting Wildlife Sanctuary, claiming the area was disputed, Bhutan through the Indian delegate who represented them had rejected the claim and was granted the funding. As you all know that Nepal is in the pressure of China, Pakistan is in the pressure of China, Sri Lanka is in the pressure of China, Bangladesh is also in the pressure of China. Leaving Bhutan, not even a single country is left without the pressure of China, is not left without the pressure of China. So we need to understand that what's the ideology of Bhutan. Bhutan is a nature loving state, and it is considered that it is carbon negative state, because Bhutan is not creating the carbon, it is absorbing the carbon of the world. It is absorbing the carbon of the world. So you can imagine how pure the environment of Bhutan may be. Okay, how pure the environment of Bhutan is. Okay, so that's why Bhutan is carbon negative country of the world. Okay, and it can sell its carbon credit. The world is given carbon credit. Okay, it can sell its carbon credit to any company, any country who offer him a good amount. So uh, the big countries like USA can even offer many in billions for getting carbon credits from. They can purchase the carbon credit from Bhutan, and also India can also purchase carbon credit from Bhutan. Okay, Sakting Wildlife Sanctuary, claiming the area was disputed Bhutan through the Indian delegate who represented them. Never in contention. Since 1984, when China and Bhutan begin talks, the area of disputes have only included Pasam Lung and Jagarlung valleys to the north, what China calls middle area, and Doklam and other pastorals to the west. Other pastorals to the west, the eastern boundary of Bhutan, which borders Arunachal Pradesh, has never been in contention. Has never been in contention. So now we will look at this. Big worry for India. After the 11th round of talks in 1996, Bhutan's fourth king, Jigme Singye Wangchuk, the present king's father, had informed the Bhutanese National Assembly that China wanted to exchange the valleys to the north with an area of 495 square kilometers with the pasture land to the west, totaling of 269 square kilometers. The deal would have benefited Bhutan by giving it the largest chunk of land and resolving its tensions with China, but a big worry for India. So in this way, the Bhutan can resolve its own issue, but you can see how good the partner Bhutan is. Okay, how good the partner Bhutan is, that it is not focusing on solving its own issue, but to protect India also. Okay, to protect India also from getting in any dispute. The deal would have benefited Bhutan by giving it the largest chunk of land and resolving its tension with China, but was a big worry for India, as the Doklam swap would give the People's Liberation Army (PLA) access to the strategically sensitive chicken neck of the Siliguri corridors. Of the Siliguri corridor, chicken neck किसे बोलते हैं? जब हम I will tell you. So in this way, we are having a problem in my internet today. There is a big problem in my internet today. So in this way, we are having this Kashmir area, and then this area, and then this eastern areas. Okay, this eastern areas. So we are having the chicken neck over here. Chicken neck means a very small area to pass to eastern states. To pass to eastern states, that's why we are having very big difficulty. Okay, very big. We will face a very big difficulty if Bhutan, if Bhutan, Bhutan that is located over here. Okay, that is located over here. If Bhutan gives this access, then PLA will reach over here. PLA will reach over here, so it can stop. It can stop easily the path of India towards eastern state. So it will it can, अगर हमारे एक्सेस ईस्टर्न स्टेट से कट जाएगी तो हमें बहुत बड़ा इशू झेलना पड़ जाएगा। और अभी बांग्लादेश भी हमें बिल्कुल, बांग्लादेश को हमने ही आजाद करवाया और बांग्लादेश इज नॉट गिविंग एक्सेस टू अस ओनली। ठीक है, बांग्लादेश से हमने एक्सेस मांगी कि हमें यहाँ से इस तरीके से जाने दो, बट बांग्लादेश अंडर द प्रेशर ऑफ चाइना इज नॉट गिविंग अस द परमिशन। जिस देश को हमने ही आजादी दिलाई वो ही हमें आंख दिखा रहा है। तो कभी कभार क्या होता है कि लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते। सो इन जैसे देशों को जो है ना कभी आजादी दिलानी ही नहीं चाहिए। जब तुम्हें आजादी दिलाई थी तब तो मतलब ये गिड़गिड़ा के बोल रहे थे कि हमें आजादी दिला दो, हमें पाकिस्तान के लोग बहुत मारते हैं, हमें जान से, हमें सभी को जान से मार देंगे, बांग्लादेशियों को जान से मार देंगे। ठीक है, तो उस टाइम तो ये गिड़गिड़ा रहे थे कि हमें युद्ध में बचा लीजिए। ठीक है, और अब हमने सिर्फ और सिर्फ इनसे थोड़ा सा पाथ मांगा है, रास्ता मांगा है, और उसके लिए हम पेमेंट करेंगे, बकायदा पेमेंट करेंगे। एंड बट बिकॉज ऑफ देयर ग्रीड for China, because of their greed for China, they are not allowing India to enter towards eastern states. Okay, so these all Muslim nations are just greedy nations. What I feel, Muslim nations are greedy nations. That is okay. We will do it faster because my internet is not working properly today. So, global funds for AIDS, TB, and malaria. Global funds for AIDS, TB, and malaria, GFATM. The Global Fund for to fight AIDS and tuberculosis and malaria, or simply Global Fund, is an international financing organization. As you all know, we are getting a very immense amount. India is getting a very immense amount for stopping the TB. But believe me, nothing is working on ground level. Nothing is working on ground level. And India, the peoples of India, 90% peoples of India are still suffering from TB, tuberculosis. And in eastern states, the AIDS is at its peak. The AIDS is at its peak because their majority of works is traveling, and because of which they get involved in prostitute work. So that's why in eastern states, those who are involved in traveling work, means they are either guide or they are taxi drivers or something else, because tourism sector, they get pressurized, they get involved in prostitute works, they visited prostitute states. So that's why in eastern states it is a very big concern that majority of the drivers, when they were checked, they were suffering from AIDS. So in eastern states, if you visit, just try to remember that you should not get involved with any of the drivers. You should not get in touch with the drivers over there, because the majority of the drivers over there who are involved in tourism sector, they are having AIDS in their body, but it is not affecting them. It will affect them after 5 to 6 years, or maybe 10 years, or maybe 15 years. This virus remains in our body up to 15 years, and then it emerges suddenly. So the Global Fund was formed as an independent non-profit organization under Swiss law and hosted by World Health Organization in January 2002. In January 2009, the organization became an administratively autonomous organization, terminating its administrative services agreement with World Health Organization. With World Health Organization. Okay, so we are getting a very big aid in terms of protecting us from TB, but nothing is ground reality. Big reforms, the wrong track. Revolutionary Indian Railways. So all of you have listened about IRCTC. IRCTC. Okay, it is the public-private partnership. Public means government, private means company, and partnership. मतलब इन दोनों की पार्टनरशिप ट्रिपल पी मॉडल. ठीक है, ट्रिपल पी मॉडल पे जो इंडियन रेलवेज है वो वर्क कर रही है, बट उसके अपने भी साइड इफेक्ट हैं, बिकॉज वी आर अ सोशलिस्ट नेशन एंड एज यू ऑल नो railway never works in profit. It is always in loss. It is always in loss because thousands, lakhs of people travel in railways free of cost. Lakhs of people travels in Indian railways free of cost. But I personally think that this triple B model will benefit India, because क्या होता है कि if someone is poor, so he will try to avoid the tickets all the time, and it will degrade the Indian railway sector. It will degrade the Indian railway sector. And if this triple B model comes, then the government, it is possible that government can provide the tickets to the below poverty line peoples, BPL peoples, on below 5 rupees cost. Below 5 rupees cost. It is possible that